diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
6 of 4th and Jawn. I'm Yale Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Mr. Prime, aka Primo, 11-4 in the building. And should bring up the graphic because that would be nice. We're 11-4 football team, and there's a reason why Brandon Graham is on this graphic, because I feel like there's two different spectrums in the locker room. You could be a realist. You could be Devontae Smith when asked by Zach Berman. Well, he said, Devontae Smith, I'm not satisfied right now. We're not playing as good as an offense. I have all the confidence in the world that we can fix it, but we're running out of time. We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to put it together. Just going out there and playing football, we have a lot of penalties. Still miscommunication. It is better than what it was, but we're still not playing to what we want it to be. We got 2 weeks. We're going to get it. We're going to get it fixed. We got 2 weeks. A lot of repetitive notes there. Now we have Brandon Graham, the elder statesman, in the building, also a Super Bowl champion. He's the reason why the Eagles have a ring. We got to be building and getting hot at the right time. Like I told Jalen, man, I love seeing you smile out there because we all feel that. That's the biggest thing, making sure we're having fun. We know we have the players. Let's not make it not fun when we're winning. Don't let people on the outside make you feel like you all barely did this. There's no almost, no barely. Did we win or lose? And again, it's been almost a month since the Eagles have won. The last time we did win was November 26th. So it's good to bring in Christmas with cheer and gifts for the family. Having a great ride. They didn't ruin Christmas. But where do you guys at this moment stand as Eagle fans?
I'm gonna be honest. I've been surveying the Eagles landscape, surveying the Twitter timeline, and y'all are a bunch of Scrooges. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Let's not overreact to this. This is where I'm speaking from. You fans, Gail, Prime, you guys feel about this game however you want, but the way I'm taking it away from this is that we were on a 3-game slide. Things were looking pretty ugly, and we got off that. Now we are once again tied for the best record in the league. Of course, the game wasn't pretty. Of course, it was an ugly game. It was an ugly win, but guess what? We've had 11 of those this year. We got 11 wins this year. And with what Devontae said, I know there was a lot of people that were upset thinking that Devontae Smith and Nick Sirianni were going at it on the sideline, that type of thing. That just shows me that Devontae Smith wants to win. He wants to get better, and that's where the mentality of this team is at, and that's exactly where it should be. We do have 2 weeks to get right. This team isn't playing at a level right now where I think that we're going to be able to compete, but we have a roster of talented individuals, and we have players that seem to have the drive to want to get to where we want to get to. I am not worried. Right now, I am happy that we won this game yesterday. I'm not doom and gloom. We're 11-4 right now. Cowboys lost, Eagles won. We're in control of the division again. Let's get excited, boys. There's no need for negativity on Boxing Day.
You're a BG guy,
of course.
I mean, bro, I'm with you. I really am with you. A win is a win. I mean, this is what the game is played for, to get that win, and we got it. I'm absolutely all in with you on what you're saying, because of everybody, us, the three of us, wanted this win more than anything, man. We needed it. I mean, you said it. We haven't won since the 26th of November, I believe that's what was said.
Yep.
And that's a very long time, man. I mean, we've been struggling to seeing this team play the way they've been playing. Things haven't been going our way with the outside of the conference and everything, with San Fran playing the way they're playing, Dallas playing the way they're playing. But this weekend, the tables turned a slight bit in our favor. I love it. You know what I mean? I definitely watched a whole lot more football yesterday than I have in the past 3 weeks. I ended up watching all the games. And hey, listen, man, I'm good. San Fran, I was even like really tempted to make a video of kind of like how Nick Bosa did. You know what I mean? Damn, I wonder, did Baltimore just expose the San Francisco 49ers? Did they just,
they
you
got the
know,
playbook out there.
they just give everybody the playbook on how to be defeat, how to go to defeat your sorry ass. Yeah, because I mean that's they kicked your asses up and down that field. Baltimore was hungry and they showed it yesterday, and I'm glad I mean they got a reality check. Seeing some of those fans in that stadium yesterday and some of the memes this morning on social media, I love it. You know what I mean? Because hey, we were there. We've been there for the past 3 weeks. Look, yesterday's win was not the prettiest. I love the heated. I'm gonna say because I'm the one that brought it out to you guys, and I mean, like I texted y'all and I said, "Yo, there was some heat going on between Nick Sirianni and Devontae Smith," but I wasn't mad at it. Like, I mean, yo, he expressed his feelings. Nick expressed it right back, and I think it's needed. It's definitely needed. These guys need to go ahead and they need to speak their mind. So by him speaking his mind yesterday, I'm not mad at it at all. And then I heard Brandon. Brandon's right. Brendan is absolutely right. Like, hey, a W is a W. We're going to go ahead and take it any day out of the week. And we needed it. We desperately needed it. I'm glad it came yesterday. And then today, I ran into Jordan Mailata at the pro shop. And I even talked about a little bit of the game with him yesterday. Shout out to him. He took the time to go ahead and take a picture with my daughter, which was cool. And we talked. I mean, he said it. He said it straight up. He was like, man, it was an ugly win, but, we needed it. We just needed to go ahead and kind of get the momentum shifting back our way. And hopefully this will help us out for the next 2 weeks, but we got some cleaning up to do. He said it to me just like that. He's like, we definitely got some cleaning up to do. I was like, look, man, just stay positive, you know what I mean? And just finish strong. Appreciate you guys regardless. And, he appreciated, the comment and, he was very thankful for that. But hey, listen, man, at the end of the day, let's go Birds. We got their backs. We want to go ahead and keep repping all the way. They just got to go ahead and, like Devontae said, 2 weeks left, really starts getting serious. So let's clean it up. Now.
It's kind of weird not being at the stadium because usually we're down there setting up a tailgate, curating a vibe before the game. So it's kind of weird being, stepping away and, just taking time to think. Actually, just sitting on a couch and watching the game. I always tell my family members, I'm like, this feels weird to me just sitting here and, sitting here through commercial breaks or whatever. It just was a weird vibe. But just overall, just looking at this team, just execute, in the first half. He thought, we started off nicely with a Britton Covey return. I immediately texted Pete Nathan after that return as Covey set up, a scoring drive. It was very nice and easy, touchdown right away. You're like, this is going to be great,
He was feeling himself too on that second punt, bro.
It's nice. That's you like the confidence and
you say you like the confidence, but you were a punt returner, and I know for a fact you were told never to do that.
Well, I mean, if you got the juice, you got the
play.
That's risky. Well, when I saw him do that, I was like,
"Yo,
he's really feeling himself." And I was like, it was a little proud moment. But the fact that he set up this team to score early was nice. But this thing about this team is like we execute sometimes, and then we step off the gas sometimes. We go away from the run sometimes, and then we'll go back to the run. Or like, and the other thing is mental mistakes. Now, as well as Jawn played well, but for a QB MVP type caliber QB, when you forget there's timeouts. That was a mental mistake where I'm like, Jalen, where is your thinking? Where's the thought process?
Yeah.
What's not clicking? What's not clicking on that?
He definitely realized that, you saw him patting himself on the chest, like, my bad. That was my bad and everything. But I mean, look, Darlene, I want to go back to the comment that you guys had just had up. Darlene, I totally agree with you. I mean, I really think they didn't play that bad. The play calling was pretty good. And I'm glad we ran that ball because you see the outcome. You know what I mean? Like, Swift was on point. We haven't had an 80 rush yard game out of him in a while. And yesterday he had, 20 attempts, 92 yards? I mean, that came at a clutch time. So just fixing those minor mistakes, the fumble between Z and Boston Scott, and then, the interception. I mean, like Goddard, he slipped, misplayed. Luckily, the defender was at the right spot at the right time, and he ended up intercepting the ball. You take those two away from him, I still think we played pretty good ball.
I also I just want to know Got to address the elephant in the room, the negative Nancy, Bob Downey from Down Under. You can't be serious, Evan. We faced DeVito and Tyrod, and it was a one-score game. What happened to DeVito? He got benched, right?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do anything against our defense? All right. So
we didn't see, and I'm glad we didn't see the family on TV because I heard they were in the building yesterday. But man, I didn't know how much of this we were going to see yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I wanted to see more is sacks out of the defensive line. You talk about a defensive, offensive unit who's given up the most sacks in the league. I think they're at 76 at this moment. We did get one sack out of Shaq Leonard, who had 7 tackles on the day. I think he led the team. He felt a little rejuvenated in the after the game. He got his I don't know, revenge game on the Colts or something, but he was feeling himself. So I felt like if you guys want to talk about some positives,
I want to talk about Primo's boy as well. If we're talking about positives.
Okay.
I mean, Primo, this was your guy prior to the draft.
Ringo, yes,
Mr.
sir.
Keely Ringo.
Yes, sir.
The past 2 games has really been coming into his own. Actually saved the stat that was posted by Thomas Peterson. In Keely Ringo's first 2 starts in the NFL, he's had 7 targets for 4 receptions and 9 yards allowed, 0 first downs, 1 game-sealing interception, and 1 pass breakup. That has been the summary of Keely Ringo's past 2 games. Listen. I don't know where your guys' heads are at, but I'm kind of feeling like as we roll into the playoffs, it's like a Slay, Ringo, and then Maddox on the slot. I don't know where your guys' heads are at, but Bradbury, I think I've seen enough, man.
I've seen enough of Bradbury, but I'm with you because Ringo is definitely my guy, and it was all a build up. I mean, like he's been building himself up to this moment that he's at right now, and I'm glad We ended up taking the risk. I know everybody kept on saying it was a risk drafting him. It was a risk draft. I'm like, okay, I got it. But hey, look, this is what the NFL is all about, teaching these guys, what it is to be in the NFL compared to being in college. It's a whole different atmosphere. So I'm glad they took all these weeks and they really got him ready. And look, some of the players came out and they said it. Yo, it's time for Ringo to get up on that field. And I'm glad they listened. They brought him out. And look, you just read the stats yourself, man. The kid is ready. He's hungry. And I think this is the perfect time to go ahead and bring him in. 2 more weeks to get him real loosened up and accustomed to the way things are and throw him right into the playoffs, man. Hey, we might have a shot with the fact that Maddox is coming back and Slay recovering from the surgery. We'll be good to go. And we need it just at the right time.
I was listening to Slay's podcast last week, and he was just talking about just how happy he is for the younger guys and how much, because he's like, the amount of, love and effort that they pour into these rookies. And he's like, anything they ask, I'm their biggest fan. So he's like, to see Rick's out there balling, to see Ringo out there balling, that's a positive. And again, at the end of the day, we're getting to see some younger guys run around on the field, which is nice, adding a little juice to the engine on defense.
And another guy that I think has been coming into his own in the second half of the year is Nolan Smith, man. He's been flying around the field at a much better. I mean, he's obviously getting more playing time, but he's getting to the quarterback. He's blowing up plays, and also on top of that, the dude can hit, bro. For a guy that is relatively a smaller defensive lineman, that dude can lay the wood.
I was listening to Fletcher Cox talk about Matt Patricia. He said he's a big fan. He said he's loving what he's bringing to the table. Off the field, he says, look, the dude's been in 9 Super Bowls, won 4 or 5 of them. He's like, what he adds to the table.
Come on, the Brady effect.
But what I mean is saying as a defensive coordinator underneath Belichick, he likes what he's bringing to the table right now. So I think, if any other positives, I like to say, Britton Covey again. Tremendous day.
Can I also just say for Britton Covey, just to really hammer it home, the difference in growth, he might be one of the most improved players on this entire roster from last year to this year. Like the jump that Britton Covey has made, albeit it's special teams. It's just having opportunities to return punts.
Call it screen.
He caught the screen as
Yeah,
well. But I will say, and I know we're talking positives right now. If I see one more screen to Julio Jones, I'm putting myself through a window, man. Like,
Oh, get ready to go through that window, man, because it's like
I
it just
can't
won't
do it
stop.
anymore. That is driving me insane. The screens,
Just won't stop,
the
man.
tunnel screens to Julio Jones. And the worst part about it is as soon as I saw him out on the field, I knew it was coming.
Mhm.
How do you have the most predictable play be to like a 400-year-old receiver?
Oh,
That
this guy.
I'm not trying to be mean. Julio's a Hall of Famer, bro.
Yeah, you're
But like
being
we
mean,
have
bro.
better options at speed and a tunnel screen.
So
Okay,
I think you should be mad at how who's the way they're utilizing him. You know,
I
like,
am a tunnel screen for Julio Jones. He's fucking enormous. Go up there and fight for the ball. That's what Julio does.
Let's
Go
see.
maul somebody.
I'm gonna also give props to Swift. Swift had that juice, man. He had he his change of direction was on point. Speaking of Tyrone's play, the bad snap that
That was crazy.
Jalen picked up, that was nice. Kelsey's had some minor hiccups the last couple games.
Yes.
Bro, there's somebody to definitely get props to for yesterday's game. It's definitely Gainwell as well. I mean, yo, I know we've been kind of like coming down on him on his the way he's been running the ball and then, the fumbles and everything. But yesterday, man, the energy he had, 6 for 41, 6.8 average on each carry. I mean, bro, it was cool to see. I mean, Boston Scott, I don't know where the hell he was at. I was kind of hoping to see him yesterday, but
I think
don't know.
after the whole fumble,
I guess exactly. It just definitely, the momentum just definitely wasn't in his favor.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give a love to Devontae Smith. I think he showed up big. He always shows up, and I think he's always a level of consistency. They asked him about him hitting 1,000. He was like, I don't care.
Yeah. Anyone else feel for Rack Check brings up Swift's hurdle, and I was sitting there watching with my family on Christmas. I'm like, damn, that man has to go home and look at his family after getting hurdled on national TV, man. That's some cold shit.
Yeah, if you get he got hurdled like on a stand up, like yeah, that was wild.
You can't be getting hurdled in front of the hose out there. This is not a good look. Other positives, I'll say
Dallas Goedert. Come on, bro, Dallas Goedert being back.
Yes, Dallas Goedert.
So he's utilization. I say my positive is gonna be Jalen hitting 7 different wide receivers because we've been asking. I'm like once you hit these guys like Gainwell in the flats, and that's what we're looking for. What was it, Calcaterra on one pass play?
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah,
your son. Did you call him?
I did. I had to congratulate him.
I think Bob. My thing is when the Eagles played the Raiders in that Super Bowl year, what did you think of that game? Did you think that was a positive game? Did you?
I also don't get like the whole like good job, you guys won the game. Like, wasn't that the goal this week? Is it win?
Yeah, we definitely
it's not winning by enough.
Win column, man.
It's not enough that we are tied for the best record in the NFL.
I don't know, man. It just seems like Bob didn't get everything he wanted for Christmas.
I think it's
coal in his stocking.
He definitely has coal in his stocking.
Looking how the playoffs are set up for the NFC right now, we have the 49ers sitting up there at number 1, 2, the Lions. The Lions loss, we can get back up there to 2 if the Eagles win out. And then we have the Cowboys sitting at 5. And then we have the lovely Buccaneers and the Rams and the Seahawks bringing up the pack. So
who's I was going to say the 4 is the Buccaneers. Yeah, I think that there is there's an opportunity for us to once again get that 1 seed, man. And on top of that, I said a couple weeks ago, I think it was after our 2nd consecutive loss. The eye opener for me, looking across the league, is that I said that I think that there's legitimately 6 different teams that could win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think that there's a clear-cut favorite sitting here. I think it's really kind of open for whoever wants to go up and grab it and get hot at the right time. We're not hot at the right time right now. We need to get hot. But we have the time to do so. Mm-hmm. And I still think that statement stands. I mean, just looking across the league, I think there's a number of teams that could walk away with the Lombardi this year.
Yeah, bro, I agree. I can't not taking nothing away from the other teams. I mean,
Ravens got a legitimate shot, bro.
Who's that?
The Ravens.
Lamar look good,
Ravens,
man.
Ravens look good.
They look
I
good
mean,
as shit.
I think Lamar Jackson, the MVP candidate conversation definitely shifted his way last night after the way he played, the way he was zipping that ball. I mean, the way he was moving around. I mean, he had some Mike Vick instincts in him last night that was just crazy, man. And I still feel that there's one more loss in San Fran. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sleep on the next two teams.
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking at the Rams, but
you know who I'm sleeping on that
we're Washington Commanders fans for the next 2 weeks.
You know who I'm sleeping on that I see the national narrative. You're like, they could pull it off. Listen, the Browns are a really good team, but don't tell me Joe Flacco's winning the Super Bowl, bro. Come on. Come on. Joe Flacco ain't playing fucking 2 years. Like, the wheels are gonna fall off.
Yo, these sports analysts are wild, man. For the past couple weeks, bro.
They're a good team, and maybe next year they could be in a better spot. But I win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco in 2023, man. Come on.
Yeah,
shout out to Marissa. She was down at the stadium, enjoying her time. Texas's own Marissa. I heard the scene was wild at the tailgating scene early on in the day. Did you miss cooking cheesesteaks for a second? Did you have dreams about making cheesesteaks?
I honestly didn't. If I'm being honest with you,
that's what we want, man. Just be honest.
I enjoy family time, man.
Man.
I was very happy to spend time on Christmas with my family.
See, now that's the kind of answer that I want from Sirianni, and hurt sometimes. Just be blunt, just be blunt. I like a little blunt comment here and there, just to show me that it's real. Any your best Christmas Eagles present that you got?
Well, I will say I'm going to throw this in there as well. My sister ended up giving me. My sister's got one of them screen press things, and she made me a nice custom Eagles hoodie. But on top of that, in the gift wrapping, she asked me to officiate her and her fiance's wedding. So I'm very honored by that, and I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah,
that would be your second wedding.
That'll be my second wedding I've been officiating.
So if you want to hire Evan to marry you,
do weddings.
Looking
forward to that. So thank you to Lindsay and Jake.
Do you get shaved for that? You shave your beard for that? You get a clean shave for that?
I'm not gonna go full clean shave. I'll clean up the chassis, as I like to call it. But
the chassis, the chassis. Okay. But let's biggest negatives from the Eagles win versus the Giants.
I think it's just the overall chemistry in the locker room right now. There's a lot of people. I said at the start of the show that I don't entirely hate how Devontae Smith is upset that we're not at 100%. But it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that this locker room isn't exactly gelling at the right time right now. There seems to be a lot of miscommunication. It seems like at times that Nick Sirianni just looks lost in the sauce. So I just need players and coaches to absolutely buckle in these next 2 weeks and prepare for a ride, man. That's my takeaway.
I mean, we still got to go ahead and play discipline, man. We got to definitely calm down on the turnovers, and the penalties. I mean, they were hurting us. And we got to have more confidence on, our backup. So like yesterday, I seen like the one play that Blankenship. I don't know where his mentality was at, where his head was at. I mean, you're the safety, bro. There's nobody else after you. So where were you at that moment really was like mind-boggling. And then there was another one with Ricks where Waller got by him. Nobody was there to cover, but he didn't catch it. I mean, it was just a little bit too high for him or a little bit short, I think it was. Those are the type of plays where we just got to start like really communicating. So if, these guys just really got to work on those play callings, knowing that they got to go ahead and step into the position at the right time, at the right moment. Those are the things that we definitely got to work on. I saw a lot of that. But you fix those things up at the right time. Hey, we could play some lockdown football in the playoffs. And I wouldn't take nothing away from this guy.
My biggest negative, Probably just the mental mistakes. Like there was that play where Jalen Carter was left on the field, which extended their drive. You can do that to a Giants team that is a bad offense, but right there, you do that to a 49ers team, high-powered offense. That's an extra score. You talk about, I know Mulata had a penalty on one of those plays. I know, we talked about Jalen's, not knowing, but that you didn't have a timeout. That is a McNabb moment where he didn't know the overtime rules. There's things
I thought of J.R. Smith. I don't know about you, but you remember that meme of LeBron looking at him like, "Yo, why are you not? Do you not know the score of the game, bro? Come on."
Now Rackcheck says his negatives: wide receiver screens, turnovers, D-line not getting to the QB, offensive play calling and design could be slightly better. Hurts trying to do too many things. The other thing is, we've been asking for them to go under center all year round. We're like second to last in the league from plays under center. We have like 14 on the year, like I think 5 passing plays under center. You would think with Hurts's mobility, the bootleg, we had a nice throw to Goddard. That looked nice. Some under center action. And then the way that we set up our runs, man. Out of shotgun, he was behind Jalen. It makes it a little bit less predictable, which is hopefully they have a slew of plays they're bringing in, formations. And
I was enjoying the I think we saw one instance of it last night, but it was both DeAndre Swift and Boston Scott in the backfield at the same time. I want some more of that, man. Just some more misdirection. You don't know which way the ball's going.
Same. Now, Ray says, my concern, offensive chemistry, start breaking pieces. Hurts never look at the tablet, see what it can fix issues.
He's too busy being a GQ model.
Just silent. The funny thing is, as Eagle fans, we will try to make something out of 1 3-second camera shot. We will. We will. It just is a story. I think the Prime was like, yo, did you see Sirianni and Devontae? And then somebody screenshotted AJ, who was just glancing over and people on Twitter like, I know that look. And then AJ did not. He refused to speak to the media. He's like, rather take a fine than say anything bad. So, we're all good with that.
I'm fine with it. I know that there was a lot of people that were upset by it. I listen. I think that all of this anger and frustration that is happening on the team isn't necessarily a negative thing. I think it is a bunch of guys on this team that want to get better, that want better for their offense and knows that their potential is higher. I wish that every player on this team had that mentality. Rather than there have been in the past few weeks players that stand up for themselves rather than being a captain and taking it for the team.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all, man. I mean, the guy, he knows himself better than anybody. So if he felt like yesterday was just not the right time to go ahead and let loose, and the best thing was to just walk away and accept the fine, knowing he's going to get fined for it. Hey, I'm all for it. They're frustrated, and you still see the frustration. You see it in the sideline. You see it in their faces. So they know they can play better ball than the way they're playing right now, and that's all they want. And I can't be mad at them for wanting that. So I'm good on how they feel.
I don't think Bob has wrote a single comment without an insult in weeks. Honestly, Bob, knock it off. I'm just gonna come out and say it. You want blunt? Shut up.
Oi.
Blue Mini says Smitty's unhappiness is understandable. AJ's is confusing. Who is he referring to with his comments? I'm not sure. My thing with Smitty is the thing I love about Smitty is he's always locked in. You know what I mean? Smitty's always locked in. So I feel like he comes from a winning program where he won a national championship as a freshman with a game-making play. He's got that in his DNA. So he can sniff out a winner. I mean, he's been on enough championship teams to know what it takes. So I feel like after going through last season and losing the Super Bowl, you're only so many small plays away from winning a game. This is what it takes. It's little things.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly where I think the source of the frustration is coming from. I think that we have kind of we've gotten away with a lot of wins. I'm not afraid to admit that maybe we shouldn't be 11-4. There have been some close games that things have gone our direction, but ultimately we're in a great position right now. And if we were to not just strap in and try and take advantage of it, it would it would be the sign of a weak team. I'm holding out hope that we've got a mentally tough team, even though it's been a while since we've seen it.
Now, Kylie said, "Was that the most yards Covey has ever done yesterday?" Well, that is his career long,
Punt return.
opponent, 54
Dude,
yards.
He's fighting like hell to get in that end zone, man. I feel like he's had so many long returns and just hasn't been able to cross the goal line.
He's
And
close, man. He's
And that
close.
dude's a new dad too, so like the guy's not probably getting enough sleep. He's going out there and doing his thing. Prime would know stuff about that. But other than that, I think just in general, I think where this team goes is going to be, I'm gonna say exciting, because I feel like it's about piecing together wins. It's about finally connecting and doing some things that whatever makes you guys feel comfortable. I'm looking solely at the offense. I'm not even looking at the defense, because I feel like they're a defense that's built when you got leads.
And I think one thing to keep in the back of your mind too is that like we are so hyper focused on this Eagles team, but I think that if you look across the league, is the grass really greener? Because I'm watching the 49ers last night, and everyone was telling me that they're a shoo-in to be in the Super Bowl, and then Brock Purdy's throwing 4 picks. I think that it's a week-to-week league, and that's exactly the type of thing, that type of luck might be what get us back to a Super Bowl. Who's to say that in a week-to-week game, there's not an upset in the divisional round or in the NFC Championship game, and all of a sudden our next opponent is that much easier. Who knows, man? This anything could happen this year. I really think that the Super Bowl is wide open, and we are setting ourselves up in a position to go get it.
Someplace in Australia. Bob is typing, "You're delusional, Evan." He's ready. He's ready. Shout out to Adam from Texas. We met him down there in Texas, in Dallas. He said Texas was in the house last night. Place was electric. Talking about electric, the crowd was cheering on the idea of running the ball, in which they did. I feel like we go through the same narrative every year that fans bully the Eagles offensive coordinators into running the ball. We've asked for some pre-snap motion. They did that, move the ball a little bit. We asked them
some mid-range passes,
play from under center.
Yep,
we got some of that. Why does it take us, the fans? And again, like people will say, the media. I don't, we're fanless over here.
Yeah.
But why does it take us to why have you not seen we're second to last in motion, pre-snap motion? Utilization of the middle of the field has been lacking. Route concepts, little predictable. Inside zone runs, predictable at a shotgun.
And there is also some eye fucking of the receivers going on. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's been eye fucking of AJ Brown all year long, and that's been a huge deterrent. But like you said, there were 7 different receivers that caught a pass in this game. I think that's a step in the right direction. I think you got to continue to spread the ball around and keep the defenses guessing. You have weapons on this team. Listen, what about an end around with Quez Watkins? I mean, his speed is next level. I'm afraid to get him the ball deep. I'm afraid to throw him the deep ball. However, an end around, when the ball's already in his hands, I'm not opposed to.
I don't want him on the field. This is coming from a guy who's made some shoes for Quez Watkins. There's a point in time where
didn't post them.
There is a point in time where you reward the players like Oz who do something with their snaps. So he got 1 snap. Did he get 1 snap last week?
Quez or Oz?
Quez.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I just don't. At this moment, I know what he is right now. Until he gets his confidence back.
Jag?
Major Jag.
Well, Oz is out there making a difference blocking. At least you see the Devontae Smith touchdown.
Yeah, I also saw the Boston Scott play, which was come on, man. It was fluky. He got blocked into him. But it was like one of those fluky moments where you go use the bathroom, you come back, you're like, all right, where they at? What the?
Yeah.
Now, who's going to be your offensive MVP from
From that
last game?
previous game?
Mhm.
Shit. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. I think, finally getting the ball back in Swift's hands. The dude, like, that's what makes me so upset every time that, like, Swift has a good game, but I end up coming away from it like, why are we not using him this much every single week? I mean, you look at the talent that he has. He's good at catching the ball out of the backfield. He's good at making guys miss, making a play out of nothing. I don't understand why we don't use him more, but Swift is my MVP.
I mean, we did put him on a damn tomato pie.
We did put him on tomato pie.
We did put out there run the ball.
Mhm.
We do have a talk amongst yourselves.
We do have the better Swift of all the Swifts that involved in NFL games.
Bro, I'm gonna say Gainwell, but hear me out. The reason why is because it gave Swift that breather, and they found confidence in Gainwell yesterday on doing so. In the past games, they really didn't have that much confidence in him and other guys because it was just like, are we going to get a turnover? Are they going to get a loss of yards or what? So that's why they kept on pushing Swift a little bit more. But being able to take him off the field to bring somebody else yesterday and do their part and hold it down for that little breather or two. I mean, Gainwell did his thing yesterday.
I think you're going Gainwell just because it's the only opportunity he's ever had the the chance to be player of the game.
Gainwell.
That's fine, man. You want to throw that out there? Listen, I'm not going. It is what it is. Gotta get. I'm trying to spread love, man. It's the season. It's the season.
This is Evans. This is Evans' hoodie.
I've been looking for that.
And it smells like 90s cologne. And I'm wondering, do you want me to wash this or give it back to you?
I just want it back in some way, shape, or form.
I was like, at first I thought it was my hoodie. I was like, yo, what the? I don't smell like
wear
this.
this whack ass cologne.
What is this? Drill car smelling.
90s cologne.
You got that Marshall's cologne on, son. My MVP is probably I'm gonna go with Devontae Smith.
Smitty?
I felt like he brought a level of juice to the table, and I think his game and his talk all correlate with each other. Like he always shows up. So if Smitty talks, everyone's got to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
smallest guy, second to the smallest guys in the locker room to go ahead and talk and really express the way he did yesterday. Bro, that's mad respect, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure, the veterans and the captains and whatever in that locker room is definitely listening to that boy because you don't hear Smitty talk. That's just the thing. He's quiet. You know what I mean? He plays the game. That's it. Mm-hmm. And for him to come out, that's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Jersey John says he would like to see Mulata at fullback for a play and plow the road. That would be nice in the Super Bowl.
Seeing the picture of the size of Mulata next to Prime's daughter was fun.
Yeah, it was wild. Right?
Show them you got it on your phone?
I do have my phone.
And for one thing, so I mean, she's growing every time I see her.
Yeah, she's getting big, but Mulata makes her look.
She is definitely that's her. Yeah.
Did she talk to him in an accent?
She did.
Did she really?
She was like, well, she didn't say it in an accent. She was just like, "You're a really tall guy."
He was like, "Thanks, mate."
Yeah.
Thanks,
but
mate.
me and him started talking. I mentioned the mask to him again. He said he was like, I actually have it in the car right now. I had to bring it up because I got more stuff that I threw in the locker room. I was like, I respect that. Yeah. But he was real down to earth. She enjoyed it. And she got a couple more pictures. She actually enjoyed herself out there today.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Amaya.
Shout out to Kyle too for the backdrop. And,
man. The backdrop was cool.
The backdrop is killing
it. She got it, man.
See, these are the moments. These are the moments that you appreciate. You're making sure that she becomes a diehard Eagle fan.
Yeah, and I mean, look, going back to what we were talking about earlier, not being at the game yesterday, yeah, it did feel weird, but bro, I wouldn't trade it for the world for the time that I was able to spend with my kids. Getting up in the morning, seeing them open up their gifts, like hey, sometimes we need a break, man. Just like the players, us fans, we need a break. We need a break from all this stuff. We've the three of us have given a whole lot, man. We've given a whole lot. We will continue to give a whole lot. Don't get us wrong, but one game does not go ahead and make us or break us. Like, it's just we need a break. And I love my bed, and my wife made it very clear. You go to that Christmas game, so I love my bed. So no problem. You're right,
so
babe.
I have to ask you guys, what was there proper planning in the Saunders and Concepcion household as far as eating dinner prior to this game? I was a little bit disappointed in the Hearn family. I got to be honest with you.
Are they late?
We sat down for dinner at 4:25, and I was like, guys, wow.
Oh no,
it was rough.
No.
It was rough schedule.
4:25.
Yeah. It was.
We normally do a traditional breakfast with my mom. Well, when my mom or wife cooks breakfast for me and the kids. This year she cooked breakfast for me and the kids, and then we ended up catching it with my mom's. But for dinner, my mother-in-law, shout out to my mother-in-law, they had some turkey, but she actually brought it out at halftime. Nice. She actually brought it out at halftime. You know what I mean? So she showed love. She knew I was MVP, you know what I mean? I was into the game and everything. So she brought it out at halftime.
Not even an appetizer for the first half?
No, I mean they bro, come on, we go to the games all the time. We don't really eat while we're at these games, while we're watching these games. So no, they were offering. Don't get me wrong, they definitely were, but I was not eating anything. I was game mode,
Mm-hmm. Bob with a trust-free moment. He says, "I hate that we are 11-4." Now he's paused for a second to think about the next step. He says, "Because what is wrong?" Quote Sirianni's. Probably won't get fixed till middle of next year. We're wasting the last season of guys like Kelsey and Cox. But I think this the topic of conversation behind the scenes. I think Howie's well aware of what's going on, and you don't. A lot of you fans don't really talk about Howie on game day and his hand in a lot of setting rosters and having certain guys play out there. Howie is very involved.
Yeah.
So like when he's part of the equation. It's not just a Sirianni thing, because when we first got here, we always said, well, I said he was like a Fisher Price head coach. His first time, he got the little training wheel, Howie on the side, and Larry like, I see you.
Yeah, I really think, Bob, I'm not gonna say that you're even entirely wrong. I think that there is a possibility that maybe Sirianni isn't the guy, and maybe you're right in that like it takes until midway through next year to figure that out. But where we stand right now at 11-4, I don't know what else you do. It doesn't make sense to me to be in a position where we could be a contender right now and then we just ditch the head coach. I get it. I get that this is probably Kelsey, the core guys there last year, but we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is our team going into this year. And if, Sirianni has any success in the postseason, he's also going to be here again to start the next year. What I would like to see if things go south is I would like to reevaluate the coordinators. I would like to get a more experienced offensive coordinator rather than just, a guy that is buddies with Jalen Hurts, in that position, because obviously Nick Sirianni needs help in the play calling aspect of the game. But I'm not saying you're wrong, Bob. It's just I'm hoping for the best.
You know what? Something else that needed help was our Twitter comments or X comments. We got a little message from StreamYard that X comments can now be on the screen. So there's a little positivity there.
Wow.
Shout out to Wes. He says,
Breaking
simply
news.
Cut. The turnovers and this team can absolutely make a deep run. I think about it. We gave them 2 scores last week. We talk about the Cowboys game. All 3 of our G's in Jalen Hurts, Devontae, and AJ fumbled. All these games we've turned the rock over. And again, as you saw, Brock Purdy light up the Christmas tree. It was nice to see them lose, but like the way they did it in the fact that we've been hearing about how badass the 49ers were. I talked to Tim, his wife's huge 49er fan. He got the last laugh on Christmas.
I wanted to laugh, but I was being nice.
I don't know how. I don't know. That's a tough scene right there. If your wife's a 49ers fan at this moment,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a tough scene.
like you take out the garbage. Like what?
Mm.
Once
Take out
you
the
take
bride.
out the garbage, your team's garbage. Once you take out the garbage, I would be making bets all week. Um, let's see what else we have. Who's your unsung hero from last week?
I think it's a guy that I've picked a lot this year. That's my man number 4. That's Primo's coworker, Mr. Jake Elliott, his co-host.
Jake Elliott, what do you
Dude's
had,
been
4
money all
yesterday?
year, huh?
How many you had? 4 yesterday?
He had a
Was it
ton.
4?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The dude has been money all year, and that's why, like, exactly like situations like last week where we, just need to get into field goal range to have an opportunity to put us into overtime, and then Jalen ends up throwing a punt down the field, and it ended up getting picked off. I think we got to lean on our playmakers, and I think that if you are just looking across the league, we've got one of the better kickers in the NFL. Don't be afraid to use them. Don't be afraid to take points because you never know how the game is going to play out, and you could use those 3 points every time.
Shout out to AJ, the voice of an angel. She says Sirianni won't be there long term, but we got him for another year, 5-year term. My thing is, you know how he rolls. You know how Lurie rolls. If they're not, if they're not 100%, you'll know. But AJ also says she saw Prime on NBC Philly with Barkan. You want to explain to people who don't know what she's talking about?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, just a little skit that I got asked to be a part of with Mike Barkan, representing Toyota, one of the Toyota vehicles. We took a ride around what's that, the park across the street, and we did a little slight interview. He was interviewing while we were taking a ride, and the surprise at the end of the ride was, catching up with my new co-host, Jake Elliott, and got to know him very well. It turns out that he is literally right down the street from where I play baseball during the summer, and we talked, and he's going to be popping up to some of my games this summer, so kind of looking forward to that.
He's gonna be a prime cheerleader.
My man's a real down to earth dude. I mean, he's definitely he, like, when these guys say they're in football mode, he was definitely one that expressed how zoned in he is into the season, and he made it very clear, like, it's never no disrespect or anything like that, but he has his version. So, like, just consider, like, when a pitcher's pitching a no-hitter, he's that one guy who sits away from everybody as that game is going along. He's that guy. When it comes to kicking a field goal to extra point, whatever it is, he made it very clear that he stays away from everybody so he doesn't hear the chattering. He's staying focused, and that's why he's clutch the way he is. So big, big props to my man, because my man has definitely been clutch for us this year.
So that who's your unsung hero?
My unsung hero, bro, and here's another one that's going to probably never fall into any of these categories ever again. And I'm going to go with Calcaterra, bro. He played a good game yesterday, and he played blocking. He blocked very well, especially on the one Swift run. And he had 2 for 21, 2 clutch catches yesterday. So
that one that was an insane play where Jalen
exactly. So here's the opportunity for a man that might not get this category ever again for the season.
Yeah. Rack Shack's with you.
Rack Shack, there you go. See,
I'll go Covey, because I felt like his ability to set up the first score, that makes a huge difference. I just think that's how you start a game. That's how, like, a Hassan Reddick sack, a Covey return. That's how you juice up the crowd as well.
You know what I would like to see more of, that it happens to us all the time, but I feel like we never make it happen, is batting balls down at the line, the defensive line. I feel like Jalen this year has had a tremendous amount of balls that guys are just sticking their hands up in passing lanes. I would like the Eagles defensive line to do more of that, because I feel like it happens to us all the time.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew asked, do you guys feel the window is closing with our 2 lines being dominant, with Kelsey, Graham, and Cox probably being gone next year? I'm not going to say it's closing. It's a changing of the guard situation.
They're handing off the baton.
And I think the leadership, this is going to test the leadership on this football team. Who are going to be the new leaders? Obviously, losing a guy like Kelsey, well, I feel like it'd still play if you wanted to. I feel like
Sure.
I think Graham and Cox, those guys are huge for that defensive front.
You think Jurgens is sitting there like, retire, old man. Fuck out of here.
Listen, if he is saying that, that's definitely amping him up because that boy is playing better football every time.
I think with the draft coming up, I'm hearing a lot about this is the draft for offensive tackles. When you're thinking about replacement for a guy with guard versatility, that would be nice. That you could tackle that you can bring here that play guard or something. That would be kind of cool because this is the year to do it.
No love for the other Johnson, Fred.
He's coming along, but I feel like you need more.
I was joking. You need to beef up.
How many Johnsons can one team have? They got one.
Already got a Cox.
Yeah. Now the whole Rashad Penny thing. It's almost like you forget that his name is actually Rashad.
Yeah, you forgot. That's how long it's been.
He's been
RASH
AAD.
Yeah. Something like that.
That is a good trivia question. Spell Rashad Penny. Everyone will get it wrong. But the fact that he's been Han Soloed for you Star Wars fans, he has been frozen, and we don't know what to get from what's going to come out of. Is there any moment in the season that we're going to see him play?
I don't know. It's a niche joke, but it might be like an Emi Udoka situation. Do you remember that? The old Boston Celtics head coach? Why he got fired?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's weird as hell. I honestly, during the offseason, I was actually thinking that he was going to be heavily involved in our offensive scheming. I thought him and DeAndre Swift were kind of going to be a two-headed monster, and that Gainwell and Boston Scott were essentially going to be picking up the scraps. No offense to them, but looking at the body of work that both Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift have done in their careers, I thought they were going to be the guys. So this is. It's been shocking to me all year, but it's one of those things that I don't see how he gets un-Han Soloed at this moment. He's got no reps whatsoever. Are we just gonna like take him off of ice and you can say, all right, go get it done?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the Rashad.
Well, Han Solo came off of ice and he started racking.
That's Han Solo. We're talking about Rashad Penny.
Now, Helena asks,
Jar Jar Binks.
Do you think Sirianni has lost the locker room?
No, I think that's I think it's an overblown thing that people are trying to push right now because we're in a moment where the team feels like it's got a lack of direction. I know Bob's gonna come at me saying that for putting any sort of support behind Nick Sirianni, but listen, he's been a good coach here. We've had good records. We continue to win. Listen, things might seem like they're not cohesive right now, but we're not the ones that are actually inside that locker room. And I know for a fact, if we start rattling off some wins, there's going to be people that are saying the exact opposite of what they're saying right now. That, Eagles went 14-3. They look ready for they look 13-4. They look ready for the postseason. Blah blah blah. Nick Sirianni, such a player's coach. That's what people are going to be saying if we end up winning again. We're prisoners of the moment, I believe.
Blue Mini says, I'd like to see Jalen double pump to fake out any lineman who may try and block his pass to the line. I think teams are really trying to funnel him to the middle and force him to make plays. I think the one thing I wanted to bring up about Jalen Hurts and the blitz, I think he did a better job this week, but I still feel like they have to scheme up more hot routes for him, especially over the middle. I feel like if Brady, I'm not saying that Hurts is Brady, but I'm saying like, you're getting paid $50 million a year. If you see the blitz coming like they were bringing it last week, other quarterbacks here chomping at the bit. They're like, all right, I got an audible for you. I'll get it out quick. But I feel like Jalen is kind of like I'm not gonna say he's. I'm trying to think of the right words. He has the ability to escape at any time. So there's at times I feel like his mobility is coming back, I just watched the whole cut up of his runs earlier on in the season, and look, he looked like he was running an oatmeal for the last the early. And I remember what Ev had told me. He's like, I feel like he's running. There's
Slower
something,
than he was last year.
and I was like, but after seeing all his run plays back after he was running in molasses, and I think the injury has been a bigger factor to. I'm not gonna say the downfall of our some of the plays, but it's just like he doesn't have that same juice that he had. He's getting it a little bit.
Do you think it's a little bit weird though that like he did get that knee brace off, but like there's still that like I feel like once that knee brace came off, where that was kind of an indication of okay, the knee's all better, and I was expecting that speed to come back, but I feel like he's still not at the speed he was playing running wise last year.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see that there's something there, you know what I mean? And just like AJ, did you guys notice how he was like really slow getting up yesterday?
Oh man, he was
like
hurting, man.
I'm kind of like questioning, is there something going on with him, man? Like, I don't know.
But I was also kind of like sitting there thinking, I didn't know what to think of AJ because I thought it was either one of two things. I was like, it's either he's definitely banged up, it's been a long season, he's taken a lot of hits, or I was like, I've seen wide receivers before where I feel like they kind of get up and hobble just to be in the mind of the defender that's covering them and make them think that they're not necessarily a threat. And then all of a sudden, as soon as the ball snapped, they're 100%. You know what I mean? Who knows? Could have been playing a mental game. Could have been actually hurt.
Now, Darren is looking heavily into it. He says, watching Sirianni's victory locker room speech, the players didn't seem to be as passionate in their responses as they have been. I think his main, when he started off his speech, he said, "A win is a win is a win." I mean, I do like the wins, man. If they went 10-5, I think I would have went down there with a sign.
Point blank. Period. Do you think that there is a lack of belief in the locker room?
That's just the thing. I mean, it definitely was expressed yesterday, and I think it was expressed by Devontae, but I think there's a couple more guys definitely feeling like the way he's feeling. They just haven't had their balls dropped to go ahead and express it the way he did yesterday.
So do you think that they're viewing it like there's a writing on the wall sort of situation, or do you think that we're looking too much into it?
I mean, we definitely are looking too much into it. I mean, look, let's pump the brakes. The whole let's get rid of Sirianni. I know Bob. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion and everything. I get it, but come on, let's be realistic. I mean, Evan, you dropped the knowledge. Like my man's been, his stats is crazy. The winning record. You're definitely not going to go ahead and fire a coach right now that's been hot for us for the past 3 seasons. I mean, he's been one coach that's done a lot that other coaches haven't been able to do. I mean, last week, God, when we were almost there to beat Seattle, if we would have just kept him on that last drive, held him down, he would have been the first coach to beat Seattle in all these years. You know, I mean, that's the type of things. But I mean, at least he was there. Like, so there's so much out of him right now. There's a lot of things going on. I get it. There is a lot of things going on, but there's plenty of time to go ahead and fix this shit, and he will fix it. So, you know, I think they need to just pump the brakes a little bit.
Now, Sean says, definitely feel like Hurts has been playing injured for a lot of the season. I'm sure it'll come out posted. Yeah, I mean, you always hear it later on. But, I mean, you could just see it. I mean, from the stand, seeing him walk to the sidelines, I remember one time when Prime, we were like, did you see the way he just walked like he had a diaper on? Like, he does not look right. But Bob from Down Under, from Australia, is demanding answers. Do you think a guy with Hurts' personality would respect a guy like Sirianni, loudmouth, unhinged, yelling at fans, forcing Hurts to run stuff that didn't work 3 years ago? FOH, of course, the locker room split. My thing, I do remember the time when Sirianni was getting loud, and Jalen was he was like, chill, coach. You don't gotta. But I do think there's a level of respect in his self-awareness. I think the way that you have to coach these days with some of these players, it's a different league than it was 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. You saw what the Giants had up. They had a Patriots disciple in there who thought he was Belichick. It didn't work. You have to be able to have a balance. I feel like, and being in Philadelphia, you have to have a balance where you can actually coach alongside Howie and Lurie and such.
Yeah. So I just want to go ahead and answer Bob real quick, and then I'm gonna head out, fellas, because I got to go ahead and take care of something. But I just want y'all, Bob, I want you to understand this, man. Yeah, I think Jalen definitely respects Nick Sirianni. I love Nick Sirianni because he is that coach, because he expresses himself. That's what we want. I am not mad at that shit. Not mad at it at all. I love the way that he interacts with the fans, against other fans, against other coaches. He's that coach that's going to go ahead and let the coach on the other side of the field know how he feels. I mean, you see some of his facial reactions on some of these times where the other coach is talking to the referees about a play or a call that they're trying to get, and Nick Sirianni is like, what the fuck are you crying about now? Like, you can see his expressions. I love those. I love seeing it all the time. So yeah, I think Jalen is all for it. I don't think that has any effect whatsoever. I mean, again, I go back to what I said. I think they just slightly have to go ahead and get themselves together. It is a question to be asked. Is there some type of thing going on in the locker room? Who knows? But I don't think it's that serious. And people are looking way more into it than what they need to right now. I think we're going to be fine, but we need to take these 2 weeks to just go ahead and tidy up on that, just as well as other things that we need to go ahead and fix before this playoff run. With that being said, fellas, I love y'all. Man, I will talk to you guys during the week. All right, let's go for that next win. We got to go ahead and finish strong. Go Birds.
He's about to get some. He's about to get some tacos and
nah, it ain't nothing like that, man. I gotta respect. Once you got an appointment, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and go hold it down with the kids.
Take it easy.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. All right.
I'll talk to you, bro.
Right.
I just want to say something that I know is actually going to be a little bit controversial in the Eagles world. But coming off of what Bob had to say, I'm going to be completely real. When things are down with this team, when we were on that 3-game skid, I think that there is both Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have things about their character that can annoy people. I'm not going to lie. I think that Nick Sirianni, you look at it, and he is that boisterous type of, guy, and he wants to sit there and talk shit. But I think that Nick Sirianni, at the very least, is perceptive of what people are saying, and whenever he takes it a little bit too far. Nick Sirianni, if you remember, like, I think it was his first season as the head coach. You remember when he was wearing that Beat Dallas shirt, and then we ended up getting crushed by Dallas, and then everyone was on Nick Sirianni's ass, talk about, you got to stop with the with the t-shirts and just focus on getting this team right. And then on the other hand, there's Jalen Hurts, who, in that 3-game skid, I think that Jalen Hurts, when things are great, he's got this aura about him, and he's like, he is Philadelphia, man. He is like, this hardworking, best player on the team type player. But then when we're losing, man, I'm not gonna lie. I saw someone explain it as soft-spoken slam poetry on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, that shit gets old. When we're losing, I'm not gonna lie, that shit gets old, and I'm sick of hearing it.
We asked you to shoot your questions, Tyrone. He's like, answer my question. We're doing it, Tyrone. He says, if Dallas lose and we win, do we rest against the Giants? No, because we have to win out, because it's not about Dallas, it's about the Lions. So I don't believe we're going to be resting. But the fact is, we need Dallas to beat the Lions.
I ain't rooting for shit.
So if it's any time to break out your cowboy hat, it's a weird scene, but I'm just saying.
I'm rooting for a tie. That's best case scenario.
That gives us the 2 seed.
Yeah,
it gives us the 2 seed. Shout out to Warren. He said, "Woo woo, what's good, fellas?" Shout out to Warren again. When you're on the road, sometimes you run into folks. I got some funny footage here. It's in Seattle. We ran into Warren and his wife, and we went to. It's probably one of the grossest things you've ever seen. It's a wall of gum. So in Seattle, this is all gum.
Oh my god!
So you go out there.
That's the epicenter of COVID right there. That's where it started.
I didn't have any gum, so Warren hit me off with some gum. He's like, "Do you need some gum?"
You stick something in there?
I did. I did. Um, it's pretty gross.
I couldn't imagine like owning that business and your wall becomes the gum wall just by
It's
accident.
it's a whole it's a
I'd
whole
be
whole.
so pissed.
There's gum everywhere. I'm like, do you clean this off?
Do they?
I
Does it
don't
just stay
know.
there?
This gum looks like it's been there since
The 80s.
the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. But it's pretty nasty though, and that's probably why I have a cold now. You know, look at that. You're like, what do you do with this?
Fucking sicko.
I'm like, I'm not putting my gum on someone else's gum.
Ivan says they clean it periodically.
But whose job is that?
Someone's not getting paid enough.
Somebody's resume, gum cleaner. Now talk about Philly sports trips. They are putting together a trip. They've been taking the weeks off, just like we have been. Their next tailgating trip is going to be at
New
York, and I'm kind of figuring out where I'm at in terms of it's going to be last game of the season. Finish strong. I feel like that might be a game that I need to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to
figure it out.
You know, any other questions that you've seen there? Nicole Tone brings up Slay named at least 6 players who should be in the Pro Bowl on his podcast. Is he right? And if not, who are your picks? I'm trying to remember which one he said.
I'd have to know who he picked. I think AJ is one.
Smitty.
Smitty. I think that Hurts. Maybe. Kelsey. Lane Johnson.
Dallas Goddard. Missed too many games.
Yeah. I'm trying to think defensively. Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott should be getting a Pro Bowl vote. I don't know. I'd have to see the list that he came up with.
Now, looking at this comment here, does Siri and Hertz have complementary personalities? It works. I mean, I don't need the same energy. It's like fire and ice, man.
That's what it is, yeah.
Like my thing is with Jalen, I think he's so used to being a coach's kid, and you like if I'm a coach's kid, there's a point in time where you're yelled at so much, and you're always. It's almost like the level of your standard as a coach's kid is always higher than your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's used to being coached, like, and being coached hard. Like it's cool with them to yell at him because he's a coach's kid.
I believe so too. But then, I mean, we say this, but then there's also, some of the same boneheaded decisions that are being made week in and week out, holding on to the ball too long, and trying to force stuff.
Now Todd says he thinks that the 3-game stretch will be good for this team in the playoffs. Adversity can be good for the soul. Speaking from experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I almost forgot. If you're looking to book a trip with Philly Sports Trips, hit them up at phillysportstrips.com or Sports Trips PHL on Twitter, or Philly_trips. Philly_sports_trips on IG. Elena says, Bob, man, you're being over dramatic. Comments are spoken.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, but we're always going to have people that are bringing us back down to reality after a win. It wasn't a gorgeous win, so I understand why everybody isn't over the moon right now. Ultimately, we have struggled against backup quarterbacks this year, and that's not something that should be ignored. But Tommy DeVito, it's not like he had much success. He got benched. Who knows?
Tony says, did you guys see that post-game speech, though? Looking at the players' reaction, it just doesn't seem like a happy locker room. Something's off. Hope it can be fixed.
Speculation.
Your Honor, that's
Your
speculation.
Honor, you're speculating.
Badgering the witness.
No, I didn't see enough smiles in the room, pal. Okay.
They said they were playing some Christmas music back there. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like there's something. There's something.
I think that there's people on this team that aren't fully believing, and that's going to be a problem. But I'm hoping that these next two games against Arizona, against the Giants, everybody's a believer heading into the playoffs. That's what we need to make happen.
Let's see. I just think in general, I'm always on the positive side of things. I always feel like
I'm a silver lining searcher as well.
you know what I mean. Like obviously, I see some things that I'm concerned about. And my hope is in the next 2 weeks. I'm kind of a Smitty guy. Like, hey, if you don't get it together in 2 weeks, we got 2 weeks. Like you got 2 weeks. He's just repeating this. So that means he's like, you know what happens in 2 weeks if we don't get it together? Can't do this against good teams. But again, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, shout out to Kev. He says, "What's good, Gail? We sat in front of you and said it. If you can't miss Kev, big man. He could be Lane Johnson's replacement. We're talking about getting a right tackle in here. No disrespect to Jack Driscoll. Adam's shooting for Lane Johnson for Pro Bowl. That's a given. It's a given.
Yeah, I agree. Tony Burns saying winning fixes everything. That's what I've been saying all along here. You rattle off some more wins, fixes the locker room, fixes how we're feeling about this team.
Hey, this one win against the Giants, did it cure my ailing heart? Perhaps. I mean,
maybe like 50%.
Yeah, like I was in my feels after the Seattle trip. I came home. Well, not home. I came back to my hotel and I was like, you know what? I need a break right now. Like I don't want to talk about no Eagles. Give me the Seattle's finest salmon. I'm like, I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, I was just like, this team has got to find themselves. You know, we were this close to being 12-3. We were this close.
It's all right, man. It's all about how the season ends.
Oh, look at Kev. Kev says he's not officially retired.
Yeah, I just had that up there, pal.
Oh yeah, I didn't read it. But yeah, all right. I'm feeling good. Any last things that you want to bring up before we get out of here?
Not Eagles.
That we missed.
Not Eagles.
Go ahead. Go off topic, man.
Listen, bitch. That 90-year-old woman that hit and ran my car in Sewell, New Jersey. We're gonna find you. 24-hour lockdown, shoe program, the whole deal. You're done. You're screwed. Okay.
So
Christmas Eve, hit and run my car, bro.
Yeah, you gotta give him some context here.
So I was at a family party at my aunt and uncle's house. First of all, I live in Philadelphia. I don't live in the nicest neighborhood. Shots have popped off during this show before while I've been recording.
It's true.
So, you know, if this were to happen in Philadelphia, it's like one of those to be expected sort of things. I was in the burbs in
Jersey,
in Jersey, in Sewell, and I was attending a family party, and I come back out and I go to open my driver door, and the door won't open because somebody hit the fender in front of the door. And just left. No note, no nothing. And then there's some red paint in the spot that hit me as well. And
bumpers hanging on for life?
No, just the fender got hit. But where I was sitting, there's really I didn't get sideswiped because there's no damage to the door. It's just the front fender right in front of my driver's side door. So it looks like somebody backed into it with a red car. And I talked to the neighbor because they had a Ring doorbell cam. I said, hey, do you have any footage? And they said, oh, my 90-year-old sister left about an hour ago. She was driving a red car. I could give her a call. And then she calls her and she's like, yeah, I called her. She said she didn't hit anything. Thanks. So, yeah, now I'm holding the bill for a $750 deductible for an accident I didn't cause. But I sat there cracking up. I was like, this would never happen in North Philly. The burbs are ghetto. That's why I got out of them.
Roles reversed. Is that your last word?
That was my last word. So fuck that lady. I'm going my Christmas Eve.
Ev was sending us pictures of like the the car and the damage. Every year it's something.
So I'll pull it up.
You might want to move.
Dude, it happened in Jersey, dog.
You might want to move.
That's what I'm dealing with right now.
Look at that, man. Nice.
See that? I got an opening into my car. Very cool. Thanks, lady.
That car is on life support. But talking about the things that have been supporting us over the past couple of years, how about Bud Light? Shout out to Bud Light for holding us down at the tailgates. We appreciate you guys over the years. Appreciate all you do for us. Shout out to Conchahawk and Italian Bakery. Make sure you go and find our peoples. Make sure you say hi to Tina if you want a beautiful tomato pie with your face in it, or maybe somebody who hit and run your car. They could do anything. They could do anything on your
You think
pie.
I could send those pictures to Tina and she can make a tomato pie?
You should.
I could send it to my insurance company.
Like, this is the lady who hit my car. Make sure you give them some love. Shout out to Red Bull, who's given our tailgate some wings over the last couple weeks, months.
Yeah.
Huge hit. And shout out to Evan Hollywood Hearn with cheesesteaks.
Shout out to you, my guy.
And Alex with his array of taco meats. You know, he's like
Alex
very
throws it
versatile.
down, bro.
Very versatile. Last word, I'm gonna say my last word before I get out of here. I appreciate you guys all in the comments. I appreciate all you guys on the road, people that we run into and we see over the various trips what we take, or just come up and say how much they appreciate the content. I also want to give a shout out to Northwest Bird Gang again for all the hospitality out in Seattle. And shout out to all the families that support us doing all what we do.
That's right.
Shout out to our loved ones, because at the end of the day, I realize
Amanda's a real one, bro.
it's time to, you got to appreciate your family that hold you down. And Christmas was great.
Dwayne.
Shout out to Dwayne.
Yeah.
Shout out for Dwayne with the amazing
Get you something nice.
home. What do you call them? Home gifts when you get a house. Housewarming gifts.
Oh, housewarming gift. Okay.
Shout out to him.
Very nice.
Shout out to him and my dad. But again, yeah, shout out to all the families that support. And anything else other than go Birds? And we'll see you guys in the next one. Shout out to Hollis and shout out to Mal. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Go Birds.